Because I was always told, now please let me know if I'm wrong, but I was always told if you get caught smoking in your stateroom, you get kicked off the ship. Is that the rule? I don't know, like obviously I'm not a smoker. Good afternoon guys, welcome back to a brand new video. We're gonna head outside, we're gonna try and be a bit covert about this, but we're currently sailing somewhere in the middle of the English Channel. We've just left Bruges, and let me tell you, I absolutely loved Belgium. Bruges is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, so yeah, I highly recommend you visit. Anyway, thought we would spend this video chatting about a few things because I put a picture on Instagram the other day, and oh my god, did it spark controversy? And I feel like I've not been able to, well, it's not that I've not been able to talk about it this cruise, but it's like something that I've not been wanting to talk about just because it's so blooming awkward. So I'm gonna get me tea, I'm gonna get me spoon, I'm gonna start stirring. Oh, I don't like doing these types of videos either, at all. Oh, I've just spilled tea on the desk. I'm gonna have to get a cloth. Yeah, I don't really like doing these types of videos, especially like sit down ones because they sound really, really serious. But it is definitely something that I want to chat to you about because this could affect your cruise, and you know, you pay a lot of money for these holidays. So I feel like we need to address it, we need to speak about it. We need to come up with a conclusion and then how we can move on how we can move on going forward. Sorry about that, Ben just came in the room, so I just had to stop the video there for a sec. Yeah, I was debating on not posting the picture that I put up, but I'm going to quickly show you. This is the picture that I posted, and I've had a lot of DMs, I think over about 400 or 500 messages since, and I know tomorrow's Tuesday, it's a working day. I can probably imagine P&O is probably going to reach out as well. Like I say, I didn't want to post it because I'm currently on the ship, but I didn't really know what else to do, and I'm going to kind of like start from the beginning and then work my way up to where I am now. And you just take it as you will. This is no judgment on my behalf in regards to the politics if people should or should not smoke on the balconies. I'm not even going to talk about. We all know that it's not the safest thing to do. Obviously, tabash and things like that, it isn't safe. But I'm just going to completely just jump over that because I'll leave that to you guys to discuss in the comments, and I'm sure some of you will want to talk about this. And if you want to DM me about it, obviously feel free to reach out. So I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about what I saw and how I reacted, and then when I told P&O about it, how they reacted, and then what's happened on Instagram since. So yeah, anyway, we get into the cabin on embarkation day. We're just ready to set sail, and we walked out onto the balcony, and Ben had said, oh, can you smell smoke? And I was like, you'll not smell smoke here. But then I thought, oh, maybe we can smell smoke up there, or maybe it's the promenade. And bearing in mind, we're on deck 5, the promenade's deck 2, I think, or deck 3. So as we are hanging over the edge, we saw a girl smoking, and I just thought myself, wow. In that moment, I thought myself, right, I'm just going to stand back from the balcony. I hate the smell of smoke. I'm going to stand back from the balcony, and I'm just not going to think anything of it. And then we'll just hopefully she'll stop and blah, 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 blah. And I went on Google, and the first thing I found is, you know, the rules around can you smoke on a ship, and the first thing that flags up is like, no, you can't do it. Because, to be honest, I'm not a smoker myself. I've got family that smoke, but they would never dream of smoking on the balcony. They would never dream of it. One, because it's not fair on the people that have to check in next. But secondly, they know, obviously, where are you going to put the ash? There's no ashtrays in the room, is there? So, you know, there's no ashtrays on the balcony or in the room. That just gives you a symbol of that you can't smoke on it. But anyway, at that moment, I actually didn't know if you could or could not smoke on the balcony. So anyway, yeah, we came back in the room, and I thought nothing of it. And then about 10 minutes later, I went back out hoping that she would have stopped, and she was still smoking. And that's when I took this picture. But I just thought to myself, I'm not even going to say anything else. We're just going to leave it at that until I'll try and do a still image. But she basically started like putting her tabash all over the balcony. You know, when you've got a tab. I'm not a smoker, as you can tell, but you know, you do your smoke and then you flick the ash. And some of the ash was going off the ship, but you could see because of the wind of us just setting sail, the ash was like flying everywhere. And I leant over my balcony well, Ben first of all leant over and just said, "Oh, you can't smoke," but she kind of just like ignored. And then I leant over and I said, "Oh, just to let you know, like you can't smoke on your balcony." And she kind of just like looked. She didn't really like say anything. She just kind of looked. Like she was like, I think she kind of was like peed off that I'd like looked at her like on her balcony. But I just, at that moment, I just felt like it's disrespectful. Like it really, like I joked in one of the earlier videos that you could smell the smoke, but like it was really, really strong, really, really strong. And I know, like, for people who are, like, I've got family that smoke. I know, like, for a lot of people that, like, smoke, they're going to be like, "Oh, typical non-smoker, moaning about smokers, say something different." You know, I get that. I get this all the time. My mum and my nana, they smoke like chimneys. Trust us, we're going on the Iona later this year, and they'll be smoking. Honestly, you'll probably see the smoke probably from Southampton. They'll be smoking that much. But, like, they would never dream again of smoking on a balcony. But, yeah, she looked up, and she kind of just, like, looked at us like I was, like, some sort of, like, cretin. Or like some sort of like weirdo that I'd like looked over and said, "Don't smoke." Didn't think anything of it. Anyway, came in the room and then went back out and guess again, smoking again. But what really annoyed me is I was always told on balconies that there were smoke detectors. There's obviously not, because if I can smell the smoke from my balcony, how on earth are they able to, like obviously there's no smoke detectors on these balconies, because if there was smoke detectors on the balconies, the ship would have been alerted, they would have went to our cabin and they would have said, "Get off the ship," basically. Because I was always told, now please let me know if I'm wrong, but I was always told if you get caught smoking in your stateroom, you get kicked off the ship. Is that the rule? I don't know, like obviously I'm not a smoker. And like I say, I feel bad because I know there'll be some people who are watching this who are smokers and they'll be like, "Oh, you're just a typical non-smoker, moaning about smokers." But like, it really, really isn't. I feel like when you're on holiday, like it's like, for example, if I put a Bluetooth speaker on the balcony and start putting the Bluetooth on, I would fully expect everyone around me to complain. And and I would never do it, by the way. That is not how do I look like someone that's going to do But if I did, I would fully expect people to complain, and because it's just not what you do, is it? But anyway, I suppose at that time as well, I was feeling a little bit like, I came into the room and I said to Ben, I was like, "This is super awkward, because what do I do?" And I was also I was really worried, because I was like, well, we haven't even set sail properly yet. We're just getting ready to set sail. If we go and complain, like, I don't want to say what I was going to say there. I was going to say, like, I don't know who these people are. I don't want to go moan to reception, and then for reception to barge into the cabin, and then for me to be like, get anyone kicked off the ship. Do you know what I mean? So I just felt really super uncomfortable. And at the same time, we were in the room, and I was saying to Ben, I was like, "This is super, super awkward," because our cabin was filthy. And I'll show you some pictures here. Like, we had a dirty remote, we had blood stains on the bed, there was pubes. I'm sorry, I'm trying just to get this out. There was pubes in the shower. It was filthy. Half of the shower stuff wasn't even full up. And the kettle had like, honestly, there was biscuits in the cabinet. There was just so much wrong with the cabin. So I had to go down and talk to reception about that, as well as having a smoker. But anyway, at that time, I didn't complain about the smoker. And I suppose that's one of my biggest regrets, actually. At that moment, I didn't complain, because I should have. My instant reaction should have been, I should have went straight downstairs and said, "Listen, there's a smoker on the balcony. Can you go and sort it out?" But I didn't. I left it. And that's probably one of my biggest mistakes. And like, one of the things, like, what a lot of people have said to us on Instagram, because I posted it on Instagram, and I've had, honestly, like I say, I've had hundreds of DMs, and a lot of people have said, like, "Oh, I hope you've reported it." And I did report it. And I think you're going to be shocked by the response after I reported it. Anyway, I'll just have a quick drink of my tea before we carry on. Oh, I make a smashing brew. Anyway, we're going to fast track to the next morning. So the next morning I wake up. I think this is like story time with Dan, isn't it? The next morning I wake up, and I'm walking around the ship, and I'm filming a ship tour. And as I'm going around the ship, I'm standing near reception, and you would not believe it, a woman goes up to the reception and says, "Oh, I just want to make a complaint. There's a lady smoking by my balcony." And I overheard, and I thought, it's going to be super rude if I like go over and like interrupt her conversation. So I looked like a spy, actually. I was just kind of like listening in just to hear what she was saying. Anyway, she was complaining about a smoker. Lo and behold, we were talking about the same person. She probably could smell. She was probably on the other side of the ship and she could smell it. I don't know what this woman was smoking. I honestly said to Ben, like, is that a cigar? Because it is so strong and it stunk. I waited for that lady to pass, and at that moment I didn't have my phone on us. I left it in the cabin because it was dead, so I'd left it on charge. And I went to reception and I said to reception, listen, I don't want to be a moaner as well, especially because I'd already moaned about the cabin, and I was just conscious. I was like, I've already moaned about something. I don't want to be one of them serial moaners, you know, where I'm just looking to moan about stuff, because it's just not the type of person I am. But then I thought it's really important, like, I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's really important for the safety, you know, the safety of other passengers. So I went to reception and I basically said, listen, there's a lady smoking by our cabin. I don't have my phone, but I've got pictures on it. And what I thought was interesting from P&O, and I was not expecting this, but P&O basically said to me, no, she shouldn't be smoking on the balcony. However, unless we see it for ourselves, there's nothing really we can do. However, if you see her smoking on her balcony again, please come to the desk and report it again. And I thought, okay, I thought, right, okay, they've responded, and we'll just leave it at that. And I thought, right, I've done my bit. I don't need to do anything more. Anyway, lo and behold, I walk onto the balcony the next hour or two after coming back to the room, and she was out there smoking again. And I thought, oh my God. As she was smoking, she kept looking up to make sure, and she was literally hanging that cigarette over the side of the ship and dousing a tabash into the sea. Now that is where it really makes my blood boil, because it's just absolutely filthy. It really is. And I'm so sorry. I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want to offend anyone. But in my opinion, that is just... come on. Surely I'm not the only person thinking the same thing. Like, come on, you don't do that. Anyway, we went and spoke to the reception again to report it, and they said that they were gonna deal with it. Now, since then, we've not seen it happen again. But I want to explain how I feel about the whole thing, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from, because, like, I've been really worried to actually leave this cabin. I know, like, and I really don't want to sound melodramatic, but I really have been worried, because I felt like a little bit like you know, like when you're at school and they call you a grass. I feel like I've, like, potentially ruined someone's holiday. Like, I don't know if that's still on the ship. They might have been kicked off in Bruges. I don't know. Like, unless they comment on this video and they say, you're the oh God. Let's not swear on YouTube. Anyway, unless they comment on this video and say, you're the bugger that got us kicked off the ship. I don't know. But, like, again, like, I don't want to ruin someone's holiday, but I just feel like it's really important that, like, P&O, and if anyone from P&O is watching this, I really hope that, like, you start educating people more, because this girl who was smoking on a balcony, maybe she just did not know that she wasn't able to smoke on a balcony. Maybe she just did not know the rules. And I'm going to be honest, me and Ben actually decided to look around the cabin to see, like, if it said, like, no smoking. And to be honest, we've looked at the top of the doors. So I've tried to do this, like, as someone who is not going to read manuals, or someone who's not going to read, you know, the how to do your cabin sort of thing. I just try to look at it as someone who's never cruised before. Is there any signs to say, no, you can't smoke? And actually, from the eye view, there's not. Even the balcony door says to maintain the temperature of the cabin, the doors should remain closed. Maybe P&O should put on there, you do not smoke on your balcony, or put something like maybe like a no smoking symbol on the insides of the cabins. Listen, I'm not a cruise expert. I'm not someone who's... I've done like 7 cruises in my life. I'm not someone who's a cruise expert, so I don't know, like, the way things should be, but surely if we put symbols, I say we, like I work for P&O, I don't work for P&O, but literally, if we put symbols or things on the ship to say no smoking, hopefully that would deter people from doing it. Because, do you know, like my mum asked me, and I hope my mother doesn't mind us saying this, but my mother said to me, "Is it all right if I vape on the ship, on the balcony? Because we're going on a cruise at Christmas. The whole family's coming." And my mother was like, "Oh, I probably can vape on the balcony." I don't believe you can vape on the balcony. In fact, I don't think you can vape on the balcony. From Google, you can't, but there's not a single sign, unless you go online and research. There's nothing in this cabin that basically says, not what we can see, unless it's, honestly, if you know where this is, let me know in the comments, but there's nothing in visibility which says you cannot smoke or you cannot vape in these cabins. And I really feel like P&O should take it back to basics. P&O are advertising massively, trying to get new cruisers, families and that on board. I think P&O are seeing a huge amount of new cruisers sailing. This ship is full of new cruisers. But if none of them know the rules, they're not going to know they're breaking them. And I think this girl, bless her, and this is not me sticking up for her at all, and I'm really sorry if you are watching this video and you probably hate me, and I'm really sorry. It's actually going to make us a bit upset because I did not want to ruin your cruise, and I'm sorry if someone banged on your door and said you couldn't smoke. I see you may have been kicked off the ship. I don't know, but I want to kind of be the devil's advocate here and kind of, you know, on her side, she probably thinking, well, I didn't know you couldn't smoke, and maybe, you know, when if do you know what, this is the thing, I'm kind of saying it like she actually had a knock on the door and said she couldn't smoke. Maybe no one even said anything to her. I don't know, but you know, if anyone did, like, I think she'd be well within our right to say, well, I actually didn't know you couldn't smoke on the balcony. You know, I just think, like, from this experience, I do think P&O should, if we're getting new cruisers on these ships, I really think P&O should do more things to inform people that you can't smoke on your balcony. You know, that's my opinion on it. It was amazing visiting Bruges today. I love Bruges. Honestly, if you've not been to Bruges, then I highly recommend it. But other than that, it has just made us feel a bit super uncomfortable. And I suppose that's the thing that I wanted to talk about the most in this video. Is just like, if you smoke on your balcony and people feel like they have to say something, it's not only making it a not great experience for you because you've got P&O staff knocking on your door, but it also potentially may ruin other people's holidays around you. So if you are someone that smokes, just like, please be mindful, please. Or even it doesn't even have to be a smoker, it could be anything. Just please be mindful. Like I say, not that I'm trying to like get the violin out, everyone get the violins out around me, look how hard it's been. It's really not that. It's just, I have, like, you know, it's like, it's one of them things. Like, I even said to Ben that I didn't want to stand near, I was on the promenade yesterday and I was like, I don't want to stand too close to promenade in case that literally comes over and pushes me overboard. Honestly, because I just felt so, like, yeah. And I wouldn't care, you know, on Arcadia, there's so many smoking areas on this ship. You don't need to smoke on your balcony. You really don't. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys, because I'm over talking about it now. It feels like all I've done is talk about it this trip. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you come across a smoker on your ship, I would love to know how you deal with it. Would you do what I've done, or would you just let it happen and just not even report it? Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching, and I really appreciate all the DMs I've had on Instagram over the last 24 hours. It means a lot. If you've liked this video, not that you would like this video in that sense, but if you have liked it and you want to spread the word about people smoking and how it shouldn't happen, maybe help educate new cruisers, then please like this video. It really does help new people see this video. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing so other people can, so you don't miss a single cruise that I do, because we do have a few other cruises planned this year, sorry. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys. Bye. Enjoy your evenings. Bye.